Hello and welcome to Talkin Jake. Myself, Jake Storielli, BBD producing. We are talking the world of baseball and football, and we cover that on the back end. But we are in it right now. As I'm recording, it's 6 p.m. on Wednesday. That means my Yankees are about to play the Royals. That means the Padres and Dodgers about to play tonight, with the Padres having the chance to close out the series in that madhouse. The Mets and Phillies are playing right now. It's 0-0 as I'm recording this. Quintana has no hits allowed through 2.1. So we'll get there. And the lead that people may be shocked to hear is the lead. I guess I'm not. The Detroit Tigers just beat the Cleveland Guardians 3-0. They shut out the Guard Dogs at home. Bullpen day, because that's kind of what they've been doing for a while now. Cater Montero with a 6-pitch open. Okay, he was a starter for them for a chunk of the season. Brant Herter carries the load with 56 pitches over 3.1, 5 hits and a walk, 0 earned runs. That got Jami's attention. Bo Brisky, who's been really good for them, 2 innings clean, 3 punchies. Sean Gunther. Okay, he's from Georgia. We've been having some fun with his name. Will Vest, who has been one of the stars of this postseason, and then Tyler Holton on the back end with the save for the shutout. They scored 1 in the first. Riley Green, RBI single. Matt Vierling with the sac fly, obviously. Trevor Plouffe 2.0. And then Spencer Torkelson, who had been on the Schneid, hitless for the series. And maybe this is hot takey, but I've liked his swings. He's clearly just off, but not in a slumpy way. He's going to run into some, and maybe that double gets him going. I'm buying Spencer Torkelson stock for next year, which cue the I'm ready to get hurt again meme, because I bought some Spencer Torkelson stock for this year. Did not pay off. And if I told Tiger fans before the season that your Spencer Torkelson stock was not going to pay off, and if I told them that you were going to trade away Jack Flaherty and Mark Canha at the deadline, they would have expected that. Or maybe not the Torkelson part, but they would have said, oh boy, we had another horrible season. Did we fire Hinch? Instead, they're up 2-1 on the Cleveland Guardians in the ALDS with a home game to seal it. It's still an unbelievable story. 86 wins out of those Detroit Tigers. Here's what I'll say, because this has been a popular debate around the office, is like, what can the Tigers really do? Because my Snakes last year, when you actually put it down on paper, it kind of felt like these Mets. Like the whole lineup, you had veterans or young guys that you were like, okay, they could give you a game. They could give you an at-bat. They can hit. They can play some like every guy in the lineup was bringing something. They had starting pitchers. Brandon Pfaadt breakout happened in front of our eyes. Zach Gallen, an ace of sorts. An ace. I'll be easy on that. Along with some other starting pitching options that they figured it out for a postseason to get to the World Series. The Tigers, something still feels off. Because it's Tarek Skubal, who's going to win your Cy Young and hasn't given up a run these playoffs in 2 starts, Houston and Cleveland. But then they're just literally piecemealing together games. Brant Herter, we're going to need 50 today. Who's that other curly, beautiful baby boy? Reese Olson. Some of the pictures and images of him with his rosy cheeks and hair. Hey, man, he gave them 5.1 1 earned run last time. Did kind of lose the game because he gave up the homer on that swing. They gave up Holton all the earned runs. But the Tigers are sitting pretty. The Kitties are sitting pretty, if you will. They have 1 game at home tomorrow that they can piecemeal however they want. There's an off day in between. So just make sure none of your relievers throw kind of like over 30 pitches unless you're locking down the win. If they don't win that game and there's game 5, they have the bad man. They have Tarek Skubal. And their bullpen has been fantastic. That they are set up really good. It's been a debate around the office. What can these Tigers do? Because everything I said about the Diamondbacks, even the Mets, the lineup is uninspiring, and maybe because it's all kids, which again, I think that adds to the danger a little bit. Like, sure, Colt Keith hasn't hit this series, although he's gotten on base these playoffs. For me, that means nothing. These kids just think about winning right now. Like, and they think at some point it's going to be their turn to hit. I think the Tigers are going to move on. I really do. And I think the more important question, Kansas City and the Yanks, tee it up tonight. More important question. That feels rude when you're wearing a Yankees hat. I understand that. Yankees and Royals tee it up tonight. A little nervous. Seth Lugo on the mound had an incredible season. One start against the Yankees, got hit a little bit. It was all early, and then he settled in, and he lasted in that game. And then he had one start where he mowed down the Yanks. He's a big pitch mix guy. That's what Jami's been on, that the Yankees kind of struggle with those guys. If you're kind of a dominant fastball slider, the Yanks are pretty good at adapting to that. Seth Lugo throws like 6 pitches. Cutters.
I take the over.
Righty changeup. Yeah.
Have you heard what the nerds are calling pitchers like him now?
No. Interested.
Rainbow pitchers.
Oh.
Because like on the Statcast, the pitchers is different colors.
Yeah. Okay.
Got the whole rainbow.
Sure. Don't tell that to Jason Adam. I thought you might say like octopus pitchers or something. I guess I was thinking of that old Rays graphic, but let's see what happens tonight. Neither MVP has showed up. Bobby Witt and Aaron Judge. It could be huge obviously huge for either side if one of them has the game. Or who else? Could it be a Stanton or a Glaber or Juan Soto for the Yankees? That's where they have all these options in the lineup. Jazz Chisholm homered in his last at bat. Who can take over a game for the Yankees where, for the Royals, it's, again, more of a playoff formula. They got a lot of guys that can be pests. Tommy Pham could be a pest. Yuli Gurriel has been a pest. Michael Massey, like he's actually, you could put him in potential big game category because he's got that nice lefty swing. It's a massive one tonight. Yankee fans are a little nervous. Clark Schmidt gets the nod over Luis Gil, which is a decision that we don't know the right answer. Luis Gil has been electric at points in this season. He's gotten extra rest. He's thrown a lot more than he has during any season. He's a double Tommy John guy. He's still young. He got worse as the season went on. Clark put up a great season, and him and Michael King were the two guys debated to be in the Soto trade. Everyone kind of agreed that Michael King had higher potential. Go look at Clark Schmidt's year. Put together a really nice half of a season. It ended up being 16 starts because he missed a chunk of time with an injury. But an ERA in the 2s. So Clark gets the start. Interested to see how that goes. He's limited damage this year when he's gotten hit, where he's got a little more potential to blow up. There's wonders if the Yankees might funny business this and do a Davey Happ situation and Heels comes out gun a-blazing early on. We will see. God, if the Royals have a chance to close it out in Kansas City with some of those Jazz Chisholm quotes and luck and we're going to win, horrifying. Nightmare potential close to the season if you are the Yankees with Aaron Judge not playing well. It will be Garrett Cole in Game 4, and I think everyone believes, although his playoff resume isn't spectacular, everyone believes after the 5 days rest that he should be sharp and give them the business. Royal fans are going to be saying, hey, we hit him pretty good and we get to see him again. So a nervous 24, 48 hours coming for Yankee fans. They are the better team. I do think the Yankees should win this series. Sometimes that's not baseball. I'm not going to say it's luck, Jazz. But, man, if Bobby Witt clips Clark tonight and it's 2-0, I don't know. And let's see what kind of fight these Guardians have in him because they are talented up and down the lineup. We've called them the creepy neighbor. If something clicks for them, hello. So that's kind of the AL summary. Tigers are sitting pretty. Let's see where the Royals and Yanks are at in a little bit. Meanwhile, in the National League, Ranger Suarez is just grinding right now. This is live. It's in the third inning. The stat that just popped up. First pitcher to allow 4+ hits, 2+ walks in the first 2 innings and not give up a run. So Phillies are getting their bullpen up now. It's 0-0. If you're a Mets fan, you kind of can't let it go back to the bank. You just can't. So we will see. I wish I had a little more time to tell you people what actually goes on in this game, but we are about 45 minutes from Yankees kickoff that I will be checking in and streaming that in a little bit. Hopefully there's a lot of you that'll be checking that out. And then San Diego and the Dodgers. God, that game was special. I was really in baseball heaven with each person coming up, with the talented and skill of Michael King coming off of his best playoff start to get got by Teoscar, the Dodgers sitting through that inning from hell to fight through it and bounce back the next inning. Shohei just missing a game-tying homer. Machado running in the grass, and it's legal, and it shouldn't be. I don't know if that's popular or unpopular. Comment below. I know it was legal in what he did, and it's a heady move, and I'm shocked more guys haven't done it more. But that can't be. You can't do that. That's just one of those feels. If that happened against your team, I think you'd say that shouldn't be legal. Good on him for making a heady play and being the pest of this series and taking the brunt of the ire from Dodgers and Dodger fans and all of that. I think we're going to get another special one tonight. Very scared by crooked neck Ryan Brazier getting the start. After that, I feel good for the Dodgers. And, hey, man, if you have to throw up the force to Tatis in the first, that's okay. Because you can't lose to him in the first inning. You can't. You cannot. But I think what we saw from those Dodgers last night, and Teoscar with the homer in the top of that lineup, and Gritty Freddie playing on one leg, Mookie got a homer, Shohei is here. I just think we're going to get an epic one tonight. I don't know which way it goes. I just think I was on the Padres winning this series, and I still think they do. I didn't like them playing the Dylan Cease on short rest card. Never done it, or did it once, I think? Is it never? Either way, BBD on the research there. I don't like that. You have the security of a Game 5 if you need it. I guess if you don't have any other options, they had Martin Perez. Do you use him as almost an opener? Like, tell him to open up the whole bag of tricks? Like, even if you only get through one, that's fine. 1, 2. I don't know. I was surprised to hear that. It would line up Darvish for Game 5 if they get there. Hey, I picked the Padres to win the series, and that place could just be overwhelming tonight. That team could be overwhelming.
Never started on a game on 3 days rest in his career.
I don't know.
His quote, "I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. I've never done it, but that doesn't really matter to me."
Sure. It'll matter if you have a bad day. Tell you that much, Dill. I just hope we get another electric game. That Dodgers bullpen has been a sneaky strength of their team to put together 9 innings on back-to-back nights. The truth is, they got to put runs on the board. Game 1, they put up 7 in 1. Last night, 7 could have won it. They put up 5. That offense is going to have to go. They're going to need efforts out of guys. We haven't seen Trinan since the 39-pitch outing. Blake Trinan might have to give them 2 or 3 tonight. Kopech, who Manny will tell you they think they're on, he needs to do it. Evan Phillips hasn't pitched since that Game 1. So I think the Dodgers knew that their bullpen is going to have to carry them through innings, which we saw how strong the Padres was. And these are guys that have pitched big playoff innings. Banda looked great last night. So Banda, Brazier, Vesia, Hudson, Phillips, Trinan, Kopech. Can you get through 9? I think they can, but God, it's going to be a tightrope. And does young Landon Knack get in the mix? Because, people were wondering if he was going to start this game. He is not. They're probably going to try to use him because you need length. But that's going to be a scary ask. So, I don't know. I think a lot of people with the madhouse of San Diego and how good that lineup is ready to move these fathers forward. I still would anyways. I just don't know if it's in this game. And if you can get San Diego, LA, in LA for Game 5, that's the Dodgers' best chance. That sounds obvious at this point. I think at the start it was too. If you can get a lead and maybe make the Padres think about not using their A pen one more time, then you got a real chance. I think last night's game was the highest played baseball of the year. Kudos to them. And man, the Mets and the Phillies, by the time you're listening to this, the Mets could already be dancing or everyone could be going, oh my God, as it heads back to Philly for Game 5. All right, Tigers. What? That's baseball. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Not sure. Hey, football. Let's get into the football, and it's brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook. A chill in the air. Leaves to fall on the ground every weekend. That's what fall's about. And at the DraftKings Sportsbook, go bet on touchdowns, the number one place. And right now, all new customers who bet $5 will instantly get $200 in bonus bets when you use code BAKERS. That's $200 in bonus bets instantly. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use promo code BAKERS. That's right. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. BAKERS at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Go click the link in the description. Football! We got a good one Thursday, and you know I love a London game. And Chris Rose isn't calling this one, but he's calling the London game in 2 weekends, I believe. I don't want to say it's a bad one. I think it's Patriots-Jags. I think the Jags are playing 2 London games. I mean, let's just move them out there, I like to chew through the weekend. It starts Thursday night, and we've got a fun one. The 49ers, the 2-3 49ers. Hello, football. They're going to Seattle to take on the 12th man in the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks were one of those darling teams at the start of the season, 3-0. Here they come. Broncos, Patriots, Dolphins. Not exactly your murderer's row to start the season in hindsight. Dolphins played essentially sans QB. They lost to the Lions. They kept it close for a little while. A lot of people liked that loss for Seattle. I don't think as many people like the loss at home to the Giants. Although, ask our Talkin Giants guys. They're feeling a little better about them on this season on the whole than they thought. Niners really need a win. Could be a good push come to shove game. The Niners have a lot of injuries. Throughout the roster, they were the healthiest team last year. That was one of kind of the buried leads about the 49ers team. You'd like to still think they have enough talent and motivation to go out and get a win, to not drop to 2-4. But let's see what this Seattle team's really made of. They like their new head coach. He's got a good coach, angry demeanor to him. Important. I don't know. Your heart just tells you Niners in this one. I would not be surprised if they lose, though. Their season is starting to have a feeling of just something's off. From Christian McCaffrey to start the season to missing week 1 and we're all shocked to being like flying to Germany for flights to check out your knee. I forget who I was listening. I think it was Willie Colon who was like, anytime someone's got to fly out of the country to get something checked out, it's bad. Pretty true. Otherwise, you don't do that. And again, Brock Purdy, like everyone's talked about ad nauseum, when everything is there, Brock Purdy good. When everything's not there, he can't carry the offense like a lot of quarterbacks, even though a lot of the quarterbacks that carry offenses haven't really been doing it this year. So that'll be a fun Thursday night. Check in with playoff baseball. Potential Game 5s. We head to London, Jaguars and Bears. The Bears are 3-2. Caleb, my guy, there's a little sarcasm in that voice because I've been a Jaden Daniels stan. 300 yards last week. They dice up Carolina. I think all 3 of their wins are at home. Let me double check. Yep. So they head technically to the Jaguars in London. Jaguars got their first win on the board. I talked to Chris Rose on the phone, Flex, and he said I threw out a flippant joke of sorts. I said if the Jaguars lose, that we might have another Robert Saleh situation on our hands with Peterson. Chris Rose gave it confidence. I don't think so. He kind of likes the Jags. And I guess, maybe Doug Peterson has better job security than a normal fan would assume. Bears minus 2.5. I think I might take Jaguars to get a W as I continue to fade the baby Bears a little bit. But God, if Caleb gets to 4-2, good on them. Like, again, I don't want to be a Caleb hater. I'm just not fully bought in yet. The Cardinals, who snuck out one of those wins against the 49ers last week, kind of out of the blue, they go to Green Bay to face the Packers, who are 3-2, coming off a win versus Trevor Plouffe and Matthew Stafford's Rams last weekend. This is an interesting one. A good litmus test for both of these teams. Arizona with a chance to get to 500 and become part of the conversation. Earlier in the season, Kyler running for a 50-yard touchdown to get the last game started against Jordan Love and the Packers, who the Packers went 2-0 with Malik Willis. So, Jordan Love's kind of got a, people aren't going to get loud, but that's a fun one. That's going to be a good fantasy day. That reeks to me like a 35-33. Play your players in that game. Titans-Colts, LOL, kind of same. It just feels like these two teams link up and chaos happens. Colts, the Joe Flacco show, if you haven't seen his scramble for last week, it was kind of electric. Big Joe was getting him up, getting him down. Against the Titans, who Will Levis is the new Ryan Fitzpatrick. It's an electric watch. I can't promise you it's going to be good for the Titans. This game will have great highlights, good fantasy numbers. The Texans, they go on to face the Patriots, the 4-1 Texans in New England, as Caleb May makes his debut for the Patriots. Sure, let's see. I wasn't riding the Bo Nix bus, and here come the Broncos, babe. Houston's -7 on the road. They're 4-1. I think the Texans are lining up to be the team that wins like 13 regular season games, but loses early-ish in the playoffs. Like, we have one of those teams every year that you're like, damn, how many games did they win? And then they get the bye, and then they get beat by a team. Sorry, Texans fans. Not like actual analysis there. It just happens every year. Patriots, good luck to the start of the Caleb May era. Maybe you'll have something exciting to talk about. The Buccaneers and the Saints. God, the NFC South continues to bring it. The Saints, remember when they were America's darling? The offense is real. 2-0, 45 points a game. They've lost their last 3. I think they're averaging like 15 points per game in those last 3. It's coming apart. They're at home against the Buccaneers. A good time to right the ship. Well, the Buccaneers, I don't know, the Saints feel so week to week. And they're coming off a week where they played good against the Atlanta Falcons. Kirk does throw for 506 on their defense. But it was 36-30 that if they had won that game, which they were a part of that game, we'd be talking about the 4-1 Buccaneers. I think the Saints were complete fool's gold. Dennis Allen, Derek Carr, as much as I believe in Alvin Kamara, and maybe we get that and they just feed him a ton again, it feels like they're back to being a mess Saints team. That's a really good home field, and the Buccaneers are a -3.5 point favorite. Eagles, Browns. Eagles coming off their bye week. Browns trying to implode on themselves. Philly's a 9.5 point favorite. Actually, both these teams are looking to implode on themselves. If the Eagles don't figure it out this game, my goodness, or if we finally get the Jameis Winston game that Browns fans and I think America is waiting for. The Deshaun stuff's getting ugly. The Stephen A. clip this week, if you haven't seen that, you need to. Stephen A. just basically said that Deshaun Stevenson should be arrested for how bad he's been. Deshaun Watson. He's just like, he's been so bad he should be arrested. It's like, whoa. Got a good reaction out of the panel. Stephen A. finds a way. Eagles off a bye week. You have to think, right? But, man, if they didn't, Sirianni, especially after Salah just lost his gig, you have to wonder, could it? Would it? The Ravens and Commanders, buckle up. The hot-to-trot Commanders, who are 4-1, Jaden Daniels is taking down the sport. The Ravens, they are back. They're 3-2. They dominated the Bills, and I fell for them. They played that chaos game against the Bengals in overtime that they could have easily lost if McPherson and their special teams shouldn't be on McPherson. It was a bad snap. If they bury that kick, I'm talking about the 2-3 Ravens and blah, blah, blah. It was a close loss. He's right. That might be the game of the day. 1 p.m., -6.5 Ravens. Good test for the Commanders. That's going to be some real big boy football. That region loves its football. If you ever listen to Scott Van Pelt talk about how much that region loves football, they just haven't had a lot of A teams, especially from the Washington side. That's going to be fun. Okay, let's go. The 4 p.m. slate, I want to miss them because I don't want to forget them. The Broncos, the 3-2 Denver Broncos. Jake, where's your Bronco meter? I'm watching. Let's see where the playoff baseball is at. I'm watching my horsies this weekend. They're 3-2. They just beat the Raiders. A 10-9 win over the Jets at MetLife, if you remember that one. Not the flashiest, but wins. And their 2 losses were actually close to the Steelers and the Seahawks. So, you guys know I've got a little love-hate going with my Broncos right now and Sean Payton, Bo Nix. I want to be one over maybe this weekend against the Chargers and Harbaugh. And Herbert really needed their bye week. But teams coming off bye weeks are really tough. I'll obviously be rooting ponies. Vegas, Chargers -3. So that's what they think about the Broncos' recent success. Steelers, Raiders, great uniforms. Not going to tune in. Pittsburgh 3-point favorites. Yep, they seem to win those games where the Raiders don't. Your final, or no, 2 425 games. Falcons, Panthers, no. Panthers have lost America again. Falcons, Kirk, if their offense is going to be the talk of the town if they put up another crazy week, and then everyone will say, well, one of those games is against the Panthers, and then everyone's going to be like, maybe we shouldn't allow Panther stats this year. Cowboys, Lions, your Thanksgiving teams, Detroit and Dallas. How about them Cowboys? They survived Pittsburgh. They are 0-2 at home. They could have lost so easily last week. It was literally the last play of the game. Lions coming off a bye week. Lions -3. I love that line. I think the Cowboys are not it this year. Bengals, Shelfie screaming from the other room as Ranger Suarez. My God, that guy. The night game. You want to get excited. The G-Men are hosting the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday Night Football. The 1-4 Cincinnati Bengals after their close loss to the Ravens. Bengals slow starts. That's been covered here. That gets covered in a lot of football content. They didn't think like this, and Joe Burrow's stats are there. Giants are 2-3, and they've played really well in like 4 out of their 5 games. The only blowout was against the undefeated Vikings. Giants fans are excited about this game. I don't know if they should be. Although Daniel Jones looked sharp last week, Tyrone Tracy Jr. running the pill looked pretty sharp. There was no neighbors last week, so hey, there's room for growth if this Giants team starts buying in. You get a lot of ugly ones at MetLife. Maybe they muck it up. I think Cincinnati's still really good. Joe Burrow, 12 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. In a year where still a lot of the QBs haven't been firing on all cylinders. Yeah, it's hard for me to get over that one. And your new look New York Jets host the Bills at MetLife. Bills -2.5. There was a lot of jokes in the group chats this week. Some at Rodgers, some at Salah. My guy Nathaniel Hackett got a lot of shrapnel this week. Again, don't know the guy. Probably a nice cat. Rodgers really likes him. Has an argument for one of the worst head coaching seasons ever. Got trash talked after he left, which like coaches don't do that. Sean Payton did. The 2-3 Jets host the Buffalo Bills. Hey, Sometimes there's a new coach effect and everyone rallies. Sometimes there's not. The Jets are usually not known for that. We'll be talking to you on Monday anyways, but okay, in this slate, Thursday, good. London, sure. Grab your coffee. During the 1 o'clock games, you're going to want to see Commanders-Ravens is an absolute winner. And then Lions-Cowboys, too, at that 4 p.m. With, I think, Bucs-Saints. Well, Cardinals-Packers. I think that'll be a sneaky. I think that'll be your red zone highlight reel game. And we'll watch Giants-Bengals along with all the playoff football. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you Monday. Uncle Dan.
Talkin Jake is a production of Dan Patrick Productions, John Boy Media, and Workhouse Media.